It's funny, right? Like I wouldn't disconnect the pipe from my basement, let's say.
And then drink from it, right? You wouldn't.
Refreshing. You're right, I wouldn't. But if I run it.
1980s now.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the... I love seeing how when people drop off. It's like water in the pipes. I'm out. I don't want to know that much. This is the sausage.
They weren't committed in the first place. It doesn't matter. If you can't handle me at my bad water pipes, you don't deserve me at my show.
A weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its influence today. My name's Will, and joining me, as always, are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
I think that's good enough, John.
Uh-oh.
It's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
And in fact, I gave Kat so much grief yesterday. I felt really bad.
Yeah.
Because
did you now?
I did give her a grief. Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Unwarranted.
thought perhaps, Kat, you and I, in a show of solidarity and an effort to throw Will under the bus, I was curious.
Yeah?
Did you happen to hear the show with Dustin Morrow last week?
Started listening to it, and I heard what he called us.
So yes, I just want to make sure everyone is clear on what was said during this show just last week.
Continued influence today. Hey, my name is Will, and joining me today, you're not my usual knucklehead co-host, but instead, I've got a serious person here. Yeah, a true expert. Now,
what the hell?
That was my favorite part of that episode so far.
She stopped listening after that is why.
She was offended.
I've achieved knucklehead status.
Was that an upgrade for you? I feel like that was a downgrade.
Absolutely. No, maybe down for you, up for me.
Oh, I see. So you're not as outraged as I am.
I have no words. Nor any defense.
Yeah, indefensible.
Except
we heard you say it. It's not AI.
And he said it so easily. He did not hesitate.
Right.
He
had it loaded. He didn't go, not my usual, what shall I say? How you say, a knucklehead? No, he had it loaded.
Well, I actually went through a lot of iterations before I edited that one in. Yeah.
That's true. We forgot about the editing.
That was the edited version.
Yeah.
Who knows what he said?
I had to tone it down.
Version.
Good.
Like, I don't want them to quit.
No.
Hey, on today's show, because I mean, are they disproving my point at all, guys? Come on, with this charade. Okay, there you go. That wasn't for you guys. That was for the listener. Hey, on today's show, in addition to berating one another, we're going to discuss news stories related to 1980s media, current stories, including. Let's see, because I said I don't remember what they are. The source of a long mysterious art for a third-rate Atari 2600 cartridge has been found. A new animated show is full of homages to 80s horror films. I haven't watched it yet, but I definitely think it's in my, something that I would like. Sleepaway Camp. Remember that film from the 1980s? It's getting a reboot. It's a real curious one to reboot that one. I wonder how they're going to handle the ending, the twist. We can talk about that.
That's right.
Which I don't know because I've never seen it.
We're going to have to spoil it for you, Kat.
Oh, no.
German Cat.
There's no way to
That's
talk
fine.
about it.
That's fine. I'll forget anyway because I'm a knucklehead.
All right.
It'll be fresh anyway.
Knucklehead. Yeah, we won't remember anyway. The movie comes.
Exactly. As I said those words, I didn't count on you guys listening to the show. Any episode that you're not on. I didn't really.
You think that somehow makes it better?
No. But now this makes me realize anytime I do an interview,
I'm sorry. I never expected you'd hear it. Well, that's not a defense.
I'm going to drop stuff in every time I talk to people now. Just as a test.
Oh, we're always watching.
Oh, okay.
We're always watching, Will.
Let's see. Oh, there's a new video game inspired by the Halloween film, 1978 film, I believe.
Yeah.
It's coming to consoles. And finally, we're going to talk about how the canine stars of two 80s horror movies influenced a new scary movie.
Ooh.
It's not just woof.
That's even better.
Yeah, we fix it. Writing is rewriting. Hey, there's time codes in the show notes if you'd like to skip around. I realized I should have said this before John had interrupted us with his gotcha moment. If I had told you about the time codes, I could have encouraged you to skip right past that.
You wouldn't want to miss that.
Instead,
Don't
you're
skip
stuck
that.
here. But you can skip around with the news stories if there's something
That's
you don't
important.
like. Yep. All right, hey, speaking of all that, let's get started on 1980 news. Hey, everybody watching live on YouTube and Facebook right now. If you're there, say hello so we know you're there. All right, hey, first up, as reported by Ghostbusters News, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, the art for a dubious Atari 2600 game has finally been identified.
Ooh.
So back in the mid 1980s, and we've talked about the the bust, the boom and the bust of console games, in particular for the Atari 2600. How that occurred, and towards the end of it, how we started getting these third-party vendors because of lack of, unlike Nintendo, which is got tight control over who can put a Nintendo seal of approval on it. Atari was, they didn't do any of that. So we got a number of different games, including some from this Canadian retailer Zellers, produced in Taiwan. These titles were infamous knockoffs. And I wonder, and John, maybe you can tell me, why would you?
Yeah.
Now, I know later in the 80s, as we're talking about, when the success of the consoles are waning. I mentioned this recently that my dad would come home with a 5-6 games and be like, I got these all for $10. Holy cow! And they previously cost $50 a game, and they were third party games. These other vendors, but can't imagine an Activision version of a game was all that much more expensive than a Zeller's knockoff of it, because it seems like they targeted a lot of Magic games rather. Was it that much cheaper?
They probably were, especially the knockoffs. And these knockoffs are more than just, you copied the idea of a game. They literally decompiled the game, sometimes made little tiny changes. So it wasn't like they rewrote it heavily inspired. They were literally copying the game and taking out the copyrights.
Wow.
It was the game. So they didn't have all the overhead of, making the game. All they had to do was a little tweak. Then there's the cost of manufacturing and distribution, but they didn't pay the creatives because they had no creatives. They just had a hacker that would tweak them. So even as we were approaching the North American crash of 83, things were not a level playing field. So if you had one of these Zellers or other manufacturer knockoffs, they were already lower. And then when the crash came, they all came down like that. So your Activisions and the Magics were kind of insulated because they were regarded as such high quality just by name. But other ones, like your Data Age and other stuff, just quickly, the bargain bin out, in the front where they put the yappy dog in front of the toy store inside of the bucket. Yip,
right? Toys.
That's where they put it. Used to be in glass behind the cashier, and now it's out in the yippy dog basket in front of. Please take 3 for $5. I remember those days.
I loved bin diving or whatever you'd call it. Oh, it was so much fun, right?
Yeah. Junk they clearly didn't want because it was out there easily stolen. They don't care.
Well, it's
not that I stole them. I'm just saying easily stolen.
As you mentioned, a number of these are just straight up knockoffs or pretty close to the originals. But for maybe this one, a game called Challenge, which was rather unremarkable, except for its head-turning cover art, which I have here.
There it is.
It's a little upside down, so it's a little hard to understand what's going on there. But it seems to have been clearly inspired by Ghostbusters, although the game has nothing to do with busting ghosts.
Not even a little bit.
For the longest time, folks didn't know where this bit of art came from. That is until a recent auction on eBay. It turns out the image was created by painter and former graffiti artist Duncan Eagleson, whose career has spanned book covers, comic book art, movie posters, including a pitch poster for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Clever.
Throughout the 1980s, but in particular, starting about in the mid-1980s, 84, let's say, and then later in the decade, it was just inundated with horror films. And many of the tropes that began in the 1970s and the latter part of that decade were refined in the 80s and then became, the tropes for decades to follow. But when Wes Craven went to sell or pitch Nightmare on Elm Street, which ultimately came out in 1984, he had a hard time finding someone to back it. That is until New Line Cinemas, Robert Shea, took a chance on this fledgling horror entry. If you remember, at that time, New Line was only a distributor. But now they were taking their first chance at actually producing something in Nightmare on Elm Street. But they were able to secure the financing, New Line, by creating essentially a pitch deck, which included this art that ultimately, as you'll if you recall what the final poster looks like, it's not this.
I don't recall what the final poster looked like.
But I quite like that. I think it's a very clever idea that, Freddy is encroaching upon the real world. I think it's
cool.
It's very evocative. And I think it makes more sense after you've seen it without giving it away. I think it was
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're just listening, you see what just seems like a serene sort of an image from a suburb with a blue sky, clear overhead. But then upon closer examination, you see there's 3 metal claws slashing through the sky, just leaving tears in our reality, which, as John's intimating, is, what Freddy does through his the way he, haunts and attacks people by using their dreams.
Do you think anybody would mistake it for Wolverine?
Not back then. Very few people back then.
Yeah.
Right. Wolverine was the domain of comic book nerds, not everybody and their cousins. So they didn't know who that was.
That's
probably.
true.
But you're right, Kat. They if they did it all or would today, it's because Wolverine has 3 claws and Freddy has 4. Whereas in this image that you're seeing here, there are only 3.
Right.
It turns out that the artist Eagleson, he had very little direction. He had the script and he had some notes from Craven, who had mentioned cave bears in particular, how they had a terrifying effect on primal man. Primal man, to me, I see these videos on TikTok of bears going into people's cabins when they're on vacation. That's my worst nightmare. But he gave that direction to Eagleson, and that's why we've got the three sort of curved, more animal-like claws than what we ultimately have as they actually got into development.
I just imagined he's being dainty. He's like holding out his pinky, while he's slashing. He's very, very high etiquette.
Yes.
He's one pinky out, so only 3 claws come through. Like you're sipping tea,
Yeah, his claws were way cleaner than I would expect, or his knives
Yeah.
should look more like what you're
They
drinking.
weren't very pristine in that poster, but yeah, still.
This wasn't the final U.S. poster, as I mentioned. If you recall, the one it actually shows a picture of the Nancy character lying in bed, sort of, cowering under her blankets, and you see the image of the claw sort of over her head. But they did use this in some other marketing efforts, including movie posters in France and Germany and elsewhere. As we know, of course, that film was a success and spawned a number of sequels that we talked about recently.
Yes.
All right, so back to this thing. It turns out this art, Eagleson's art for this game, originally appeared in the March 1985 issue of Electronic Games magazine, accompanying the article Catching Ghosts with the Boss Buster, which profiled John's good buddy David Crane, because he knows all the Cranes. Was if you're not familiar, was a designer of Activision's official Ghostbusters video game.
Right.
So, John, timeline-wise, we're talking about Zeller's having, knocking off existing games. Was Crane's game out then, but they chose not to knock it off because...
So there's a little bit of a twisted, it's not so much timeline, but it's like, so certainly this artwork has nothing to do with this game, as we've talked about. So Crane's game was about to come out, but for whatever reason, Zeller's wasn't necessarily about copying IP. Like, they weren't interested in copying Ghostbusters so much. They were just interested in using the imagery of Ghostbusters on whatever game they had recently ROM hacked and put onto some chips. So, as you said, David Crane wrote the official Ghostbusters ports to the Atari 2600 and the home computers and the Commodore 64. He wrote all that stuff, or the originals. But so this art was officially a Ghostbusters art that Zeller's just said, yeah, there's a picture. And just because Ghostbusters were popular, they used it. They could have copied Ghostbusters. Why they didn't, since they weren't paying royalties, why not? They certainly could have by then, but they just opted to use Ghostbusters imagery for this stupid game.
So what is the real gameplay like?
Well, I can describe it to you, or I could show it to you if you would like.
Oh, yeah, please.
So it is a clone of a European game called Challenge. So
they did knock somebody off.
Let's see what we get. They did. So here it is.
Oh, my goodness.
So all you have to do is move that little green duck-looking Snoopy thing from the lower right through this maze to the upper left. And I want you to note the delicious soundtrack. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Ready.
Sure, very patriotic.
It's just...
Glory, glory.
So you just have to dodge one of those. So I'm some kind of a pink whatever.
Crabs or something?
Or I'm some kind of a green whatever. Then there's pink ants things or whatever they are. And I'm just working my way.
This looks a little tough.
Don't want to get hit by them.
No?
Yeah, look at that. This is challenging.
Yeah,
I see
that's all it is.
Now, the walls of the maze are flashing.
You've seen the whole game.
Do they shift, or it's just literally up and down, up and down?
No, up and down. That's it. Oh, I got hit. There we go. Now I got hit by one of them. And it's spelling out words across the top.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to ask you, how are you so good at this?
Well, this is not the first time I played it.
Okay.
Whoa.
It does look pretty tough.
So
As far as called challenge.
Yeah.
It is difficult, certainly. Is it Ghostbusters-esque?
No, not at all. Yeah, unless you're Slimer or something, because you are green.
As it says at the top, not.
I was going to say bad. Not is more appropriate. It's just, I got hit again. So that's it. Just make it at the top left. And it's a timer. The faster you make it there, the more points you get. And that's it.
Oh.
Okay. And after you complete one of these levels, is it just back to...
It starts up again, except now there's more enemies. So maybe there'll be 2 on a row instead of 1, or they'll be farther apart. They'll move a little faster. So there is iteration. Now, again, someone did design this game and did sell it.
Yeah.
They just stole it, is all they did. It's not like it's a bad game. It's a bad game, but it's not like it's a horrible game. It is a playable game. Yeah. It's just it's challenging. Ghostbusters attacking a green No, there's none of that in there. I don't know.
Unless that's a little Slimer. Maybe the duck is actually Slimer.
Sure. Was it this article or somewhere? Maybe it's something I read said, well, if you made the green thing look like Bill Murray and all the monsters were Slimer, maybe. Maybe, but even then, running through a maze, it's a hotel. Who knows? Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
I have a visual aid. I have something to share with you. I don't own any Zellers cartridges. They're quite expensive. But I do have another company did very similar things. I have here.
Oh, look at that.
Pitfall.
Oh.
Sort of.
Yeah, wait a second.
It looks like Jungle Book.
That is Jungle Book.
So several interesting things about this. First, these are called Cooper Taiwan cartridges because they were manufactured in Taiwan, and they use the Cooper font for the title of the game.
Oh my gosh.
This does have a ROM hack of David Crane's Pitfall on it. That's not a screenshot of it. They've edited out the word Activision, so it's just the rainbow left. Oh. And to cap it all off, apparently, if you had the manual, I have the real cartridges in here, not the manual. This is a jungle girl. She's topless.
Oh goodness.
Oh my. Okay.
Well, if you live in the jungle, John, that's how it would be. Sure.
But she's got pants.
Well, come on. She's got some decorum in the jungle even. That might just be a practical matter.
Certainly. So Zellers were not the only offenders that did this. And there's an example of, again, they got that art from God knows where. Yeah. They stole the game from Activision, tweaked it a little, put it on a cartridge, made a dumb, stupid box that has no good information on it. Doesn't tell who made it or anything. That's why they're just called Cooper Taiwan games. And there are a dozen or so out there like the Zellers games.
Maybe along those same lines, some of my favorite cartridges were the Magic ones. Which essentially kit bashed a number of different models together to create their artwork. In this one, Kat includes a very well-known spacecraft on the bottom there. No, don't recognize it?
Never tell me the odds.
Oh, is that pretending to be the Millennium Falcon?
It's not pretending. It actually is a part of the Millennium Falcon from a model.
Ripped off the lid. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they essentially just attach a bunch of models together to create the images. And they've done this before. They have another one where it's like a T-Rex with a rocket strapped on its back.
Most of them are like spray painted chrome. Almost everything in there. And they just did their own photography. I'm like, there you go. I think it's genius. It's really iconic. And it's just like the shape of their cartridge and the fact that the box and the label are all that metallic chrome look. Yeah. I think it all came together for a cohesive brand for a Magic.
And as big a Star Wars fan as I was, I never recognized the Millennium Falcon on there, and I had that game. But again, we've talked about before as I was an idiot as a child, so that could be part of it as well.
Maybe you were a knucklehead too.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
all right. Hey, okay, Kat. Some people are saying things. What do we got here? Oh, okay. Karen, regarding these video games, Karen says it kind of looks like a cross between Slimer and Spike the Gremlin. Huh. Was that the little green guy? I guess maybe. Marcus says, looks to me like the guy Jay didn't shoot in the guy Jay didn't shoot in Men in Black. Brad says Atari had some really great covers for games, some so much better looking than the actual game. Yeah, that's sort of what I was talking about.
Oh, that's what we were just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Hey, otherwise in 1980s news, and this is also, we're just talking about how Ghostbusters are always knocked off. Well, hey, check this out. Also from Ghostbusters news. Netflix's Haunted Hotel. Ain't afraid of no Ghostbusters Easter eggs.
Awesome.
So Netflix's Haunted Hotel is a new animated series from the Rick and Morty writer Matt Roller. And it's now streaming. As I mentioned, I haven't seen it. The trailer makes it look like something exactly that I would love. I do enjoy Rick and Morty. It's a very smart show. And this seems different but similar in many ways, including the amount of homages they play to pop culture, which both series do. Well, this one in particular, because it's a haunted hotel, pays a tribute, makes homages to horror films from our youth, including Friday the 13th, The Shining, and plenty from Ghostbusters. Now, this has just got to be a coincidence, right? But the series itself already bears a resemblance to Ghostbusters Afterlife in that you've got a single mom who, with the help of her 2 kids and her brother's ghost, run a haunted hotel. But in addition to that, which it must be a matter of coincidence or maybe that sort of trope. I mean, we've had a number of other examples where a human pairs with a ghost in some, often comedic ways, and throughout film and TV throughout the last several decades. But there are some more obvious references, including on the family's vehicle, which displays an Ecto-2 license plate.
Now, I think I'm about halfway through this series, and I'm not sure, but I think maybe that license plate was actually on the bumper of someone they called in to assist them because they called basically one of the Ghost Chasers TV shows to come and help diagnose and get rid of this ghost. And I would compare this favorably to Solar Opposites, which also has its roots in Rick and Morty creators. It's very smart in that way and less chaotic and manic. Like Rick and Morty, it's a little more grounded, if you can call ghosts and demons and cryptids grounded. But I mean, it's more set in what would happen in reality versus riding through the multiverse and, spaceship kind of thing. But it's charming and delightful. All the things we like and the things you don't like that I like are in this. They talk about cryptids. They're one of the main characters is a young boy from the 17th century who never aged because his body is inhabited by a demon. It's really charming. It's smart too.
You're right, John. In the episode Ghost Hunters, they got a TV crew that travels in a van that is unmistakably inspired by Ecto-1, including the rack that it has on top of the gear.
The gear,
you've got a juice box that resembles our beloved high-C Ecto cooler. And when chaos breaks out in one particular episode, the dog and cats line that Bill Murray made famous is evoked. According to Roller, he said the show includes, and this might be hyperbole. You're halfway through, John, so maybe you could say or not, but I think it's probably hyperbole. He said the show includes, quote, 80 horror Easter eggs.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it a bit.
Okay.
Wow.
It is a densely packed visual animation style. And some things are in passing as you run by rooms. There are things going on in rooms. So I can imagine. And I would compare this initially. I would have compared it to there's another network series called Ghosts, which is a remake of the UK series Ghost, which is also very similar in that it's about this young couple who are running a bed and breakfast in a haunted mansion. So it's similar to that. The real difference here is that everyone can see the ghosts. Right. So the ghosts, they haunt the people all the time. It's not only this one girl that can see them. So, and hundreds of different ghosts. They come in and out throughout the show. It's not just a cast of 4 or 5.
Yeah. And there's some, as John mentioned, there's some things that are just in passing. There's some that are obvious, ones that I caught just skimming the internet. Some clear homages to Jaws, Beetlejuice. And again, in this interview with Roller, he mentioned that the art on the walls of the hotel, because he said, look, you got to put something there. So what I told the art department was put images of iconic movie houses from horror films, including that of Michael Myers in the Amityville Horror.
Just occurred to me, I might have seen shining carpeting down one hallway.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
That's
I believe.
True.
Is it one of them? Yeah.
Yep.
Is that right? Is that on your list? Is that one I
Yep, they got the shining
correctly
carpeting
remembered?
The last name of the family is Freeling, which you may recognize from a horror movie from the 1980s. 1982's Poltergeist. That's the Freeling family.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
The hotel is called the Undervale.
Carolyn.
Undervale. Does that evoke the name of a hotel from another horror movie from the 1980s? Undervale. If it's not under something, it's over the Overlook. The Overlook from Shining from 1980.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I did make that connection. No.
I saw an image, John, from one episode that straight up Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th 2, isn't it? He's got the sack over his head and all that, yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
And some other more contemporary references seem to be in there. It seems like they make a reference to Barbarian, maybe, if you're familiar with that film, and what's under the hotel, sort of the catacombs. And
I might not have gotten to that one yet. Oh, cool. Something to look forward to. I'm kind of doling it out slowly to myself on a slow drip because there's only 10 episodes and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm slowly working my way through it.
It looks really cool. And it seems, look, we talked about this before. I love watching spooky things in this season. And it can be funny. It could be, a cartoon. It doesn't matter. It's just, a little on the creepier supernatural side satisfies that, impulse for me.
And surprisingly heartfelt, believe it or not. There's the family dynamic with the brother and the sister and then her kids. And so there's some heart to it too. So it's kind of got a little bit of everything.
Will satisfying a lot of impulses right now. So he's going to binge
no idea what you're talking about, guys.
Horror and that and all that candy.
I didn't get to tell you guys this, but thinking about Poltergeist, this is a tangent, sort of. So I went to Universal Studios Hollywood last week, and one of the things that you're able to do during this time of year is go after hours to be a part of the Halloween. What is it called? Halloween Horror Nights. Halloween Horror Nights. That sounds wrong all of a sudden, and they have I don't know 8, 10 haunted houses, and one of them they had, which I didn't know was there, was Poltergeist. And holy cow, if you're a fan of that film, and I watched it so many times as a kid, it was one of these early horror movies that just scared the shit out of me. You walk to this house and you're reenacting some of the scariest moments from the film.
Wow.
The clown jumps out, is a full-size clown in this purpose, jumps out of the darkness to scare the crap out of you. A tree branch comes through Robbie's bedroom at some point.
Yeah. Right.
Of course,
is the unfinished pool in the backyard.
Oh, Kat. Yes. That's how you get out of the house. It's not actually technically a pool, though I heard in one year it was, that you actually walk out and it's made like you're in the sunken, cutout of the pool. But this, to imply that when you get at one part of the house, you're walking through this narrow corridor lined with coffins filled with cadavers falling out of them, many of which, try to get hold of you as you walk by.
Yikes. That sounds great.
The poltergeist itself is there. If you remember that bizarre creature that they see at the end, it's almost like animal-like. That thing almost looked like to scale was part of it. Oh, a number of things. Yeah, if you dig Poltergeist in haunted houses, go check it out.
Did the ride implode at the end?
We got to get the hell out of here, honey. Come
in a
on.
singularity, right?
Yeah, and the daughter's just out. Someone playing the daughter's just outside. What's happening? Yeah, no. Wild Thing says, Poltergeist was so freaky, gave me nightmares as a kid. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I think it's responsible for many of our fears. Storms, clowns. Oh, you know what else they had in there? The guy pulling his face apart. You remember that?
Oh, right. In the mirror?
Yeah. There's a guy in there, an actor who's actually...
Yes.
So is this a dark ride or is it a walkthrough or a combination?
Yeah. It's a walkthrough. It's a haunted house.
It's a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's cool is to simulate the experience of the film is some at least once they repeated the room. So if you remember early in the scene, you go through Robbie's room and maybe Carol Ann gets sucked into the closet or whatever. Then you go through some hallways through the house, go through the kitchen. You come back and you're in Robbie's room again. It has to be a different one, but it looks identical. And now the tree comes smashing through it. It's that sort of thing.
That's really neat.
Super well done. The exterior, the facade looked like the home from the film. Really, really well done.
That's cool.
Hey, I know it sounds like we've got some giant corporate sponsor behind us, but we don't. Instead, our show is brought to you every week by listeners just like you. And by brought to you by them, I mean they help pay for the bills. And there's a bunch of them to bring you a quality podcast about 80s nostalgia and its continued impact today. Hey, to join this group of fantastic folks, please go to patreon.com/1980s now. And if you can't do that, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and the podcast platform you're listening to right now. Hey, another 1980s news as reported by Deadline. Sleepaway Camp is getting rebooted. So AFA, the production company owned by Saturday Night Live's...
Okay.
You okay, Kat?
Oh, I'm fine. I just wondered, why is it being
Oh,
rebooted?
okay.
She's anxious over the story.
The production company...
Like I am.
The production... for different reasons. The production company owned by Saturday Night Live's Keenan Thompson and Johnny Ryan Jr. is set to remake Sleepaway Camp, the 1983 slasher starring Felissa Rose and written and directed by Robert Hiltzik. The specifics of the film at this point, as often are at this point in pre-production, are under wraps. But AFA has placed Hiltzik, the original writer and director, back at the helm of this film to direct a new movie from his own script. Which makes, I don't know if that, I guess that gives us greater comfort, maybe, but I almost feel like, do we need a more contemporary guy to massage this, in a way that is, is consistent with our current cultural norms, I'll say.
Well, and methods of filmmaking and pacing and story and things like that. If you're taking the same script again, like that's kind of, why?
Well, and everything my understanding is he's not taking the same script. We don't know if it's a reboot or a legacy sequel, as John often points out, or the sort of way to go. We don't know yet, but it seems like it's going to be something new. Apparently, Hiltzik and his wife have been approached for years for the rights to the movie, but they held out in hopes of a scenario where they can be involved. And here you go. In a statement at Deadline, Hiltzik said, quote, "Only AFA shared my vision," so maybe a new vision, "and is excited to have me helm the film, therefore preserving the integrity of the original film for the fans, as well as introducing Sleepaway Camp to a whole new generation. Be prepared for a new member of the Sleepaway Camp family." Don't know what that means. A family is definitely involved in the film. So
wait, does it mean, are there a number of Sleepaway Camp movies? Is it referring to, were there sequels?
There were sequels.
Were there?
Yeah.
Okay. I never saw them. I didn't know.
Although I don't believe Hiltzik was involved in them. Let me see if I have that written down here. Yeah. So another gentleman took the reins in Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, was directed by someone else.
None of those sequels made an impact like the original did, though.
Yeah, right. Oh, Hiltzik returned for 2008 for Return to Sleepaway Camp, and then there was a fourth film which was directed by Jim Markovic. All right, so you got a number of different directors that handle this.
Yeah.
But
so maybe it means that family of films rather than a family and the film.
We have no idea, and I'm curious. I know, and I guess we should just explain to you what the story is. It's a low budget camp movie, sleepaway camp movie, much like Friday the 13th or some other films that took advantage of the camp. Even comedies, right? A lot of films were set in camps in the 1980s. But in this one, much like more like Friday the 13th, there's a psychopath loose that's murdering campers one by one. You don't know who is committing these atrocities until the last shot of the film, which is considered one of the most notoriously nightmarish images ever put to screen. It's really unsettling, and in particular, not because in part because of the reveal, which it's less so of that. It's just, it may be because how they pulled it off. Because in the final moments of the film, Kat, you learn that, I'm trying to think of how much to tell you. In order to,
spoiler alert.
Yes,
spoiler
alert.
Fine.
Where's the
for this recent film?
Go ahead. Go full on spoiler.
I'm trying to think how it would be. All right, I'll just say it this way, I guess. In the final moments of the film, we learn that the shy female camper protagonist that we've been following along, named Angela, is not only the killer, but she is actually a he, the survivor of a boating accident who was adopted by his aunt and raised as a girl. So there was a boy and a girl. Maybe they were even twins. Wow. At the beginning of the film, we see that their parents or their father is killed in this accident. They go to the aunt raises them. And in the final moments, in a flashback, in between learning who the killer is, we see in a flashback that the aunt has the boy there and said, "I always wanted a girl, and I'm going to call you Angela." And isn't this wonderful?
Oh no, twisted.
And the reveal that's horrifying. You see that the camera pulls out to see the sort of the twisted, screaming face of this girl is nude, and as it pulls out, you see that they have a muscular body and their genitalia is in the full view.
Wow.
And also a severed head, but that's not what people talk about the most.
That's right. That's right.
And by the way, a decapitation, but also nards.
You're right. I can't take my eyes off these genitals. I think in the corner of my peripheral vision, there may be a head laying there on the ground. But
so here's the nutty thing. Yeah. This is like remaking, if it is a remake, we don't know enough information, but it's like remaking The Sixth Sense. the people to whom it will appeal, the reason you use the IP is to get in people who already know and like the franchise.
Yeah.
Those people don't want to see the same movie again because they already know the ending.
Right.
Yeah.
Those that don't know the ending, you're getting no benefit out of the franchise. So you almost have to change it somehow. But how do you outdo that is the question. None of the sequels did anything remotely like that. That's the conundrum. It's like, because I said maybe they're remaking it. How do you remake that without, you got to put a different swerve on it, you know?
Yeah. And obviously what we're suggesting raises, certainly today's vernacular questions of transgender characters' portrayal on film. Now, that said, in the first film, there's nothing to suggest this character is transgender. It was, they're not having body dysmorphia. They were forced to be raised and appear as one gender, even though, to our knowledge and based on this, what we're given, had no inclinations or feelings that they were, were a different gender than they, were assigned at birth.
They were just taught, this is how you will behave. This is what you will wear. This is how you will act, which is feminine.
Yeah.
Just had no choice. Yeah.
And which is the twisted part, right? Like they had this thing forced upon them.
Yeah.
Which was
Right.
not, they were not choosing their own.
No. That and the exposed dong. Those things.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and now in the second film, the character does have
Severed head.
gender reassignment. So they have the bottom surgery, as they say. So in that, by the second film,
Interesting.
you can't argue that they're not transgender, at least based on their actions. I'm not
Different story now.
and I'm only familiar with that aspect
yeah,
of the film. I
that's-
don't know what the story is, but focusing on this film and how they may be bringing it back. To John's point, I mean, how do you twist it? And also, I don't know, you want to touch this kind of thing even, the genital notwithstanding.
I was trying to figure out how to do that. Yeah, how to work that in.
Now, so.
Did I mention also severed head? Also bad.
Yeah, okay.
Also
Yeah, to a lesser extent. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. To a lesser extent. Well,
Well,
decapitating someone, not as bad as this. Wow.
if you haven't,
Where am I living? Right.
in America, John, in America.
Oh,
Yeah.
got
America.
it. Roger that. Yep.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this final image, all you have to do is watch it. It's on YouTube, I'm sure. All you need to see it. You don't even need to see the film to be freaked out by this. And part of, I think, the disturbing, the shock value of this imagery is how they did it. And they did it in a very guerrilla way. Because this is, 1983. This is pre-CGI. Of course, you've got ways of, green screening and blue screening. You've got prosthetics. You've got amazing effects artists, that are operating at this time. But the challenge they had was the actor who played Angela, Felissa Rose, was only 13 years old at the time. So they, in no way,
wow.
shape, or form could
That's
she be
young.
involved in this scene. So instead, what they did is they cut from an image of her actual face, making this contorted, screaming face as you hear this animal sort of scream coming out of her mouth. They cut from that to a double. And the double, they actually molded a mask that looks exactly like her. It's a fantastic mask. And they put this mask on apparently some anonymous student from a local school who by all accounts had to be drunk in order to be brave enough to appear fully nude in the cold at night near a lake.
I thought you were going to say apparently male.
Yeah, apparently male.
Apparently male.
From what we can
Or
discern.
a well-endowed woman. I mean, because there's some parts of anatomy,
Okay.
John, I got a diagram.
Sure.
There's parts of a woman's anatomy that kind of line up biologically. And when
I don't
the
need
egg
it.
splits or
I got it.
something.
I'm with you. That's good. We're all fine.
Anyway, so even just that way they pulled it off already makes it like otherworldly on top of the otherworldliness of the twist. Oh, it's fucking bizarre and creepy. Damn.
Yeah.
And the head, the severed head.
And a severed head, by the way.
I keep forgetting about the head. Right. That too. Yep. Hiltzik shot this first original film at Camp Algonquin in Argyle, New York, which he attended as a kid. Made it for roughly $300,000 to $50,000 with a then cast of unknowns. And the film grossed around $11 million. And as I mentioned, there's been a number of sequels since. I'm not interested.
No.
Nah. I'll read about what the
I'm
twist
interested
is.
in the first movie now.
Right. See, I am as interested in the end of a remake as I am in the end of the original. Like, I'm not interested in rewatching the whole original. If they make it, I want to see what they do at the end. You know?
Yeah.
Almost, I want to spoil it for myself right away.
That's what I do. I'm going to go on YouTube or some review site or Wikipedia always has it.
Well, the day after movie comes out, there's 20 videos out there. Ending explained. That's what I'm right? You can do one of those things.
Just going to watch that.
That's what I'll do. Yeah.
Somebody's Plex server will have the ending, no doubt, or something, the full film.
Odds are.
On the opening night.
No doubt.
Hey, in other 1980s spooky news, as reported by Bloody Disgusting, Halloween the game is coming to consoles and PCs. The good news is the countdown is on for this game from Elphonic and Gun Interactive. The bad news is you've got about 12 months to wait. But Halloween, the latest game inspired by John Carpenter's seminal 1978 film of the same name, is coming in the fall of 2026. During the Sony State of Play, the teams announced that the asymmetrical stealth horror game will launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. Is that what it's called? I guess they mean all the Xboxes. I don't know. And PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store. Let's see where we go. Oh, in addition to releasing the game, they gave us a brand new trailer and actually a look at the gameplay. And here it is. See that babysitter got her head cut off?
Yeah.
She's got to save the little boy from from Michael Myers.
You can see why there's still a year of development to go.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't that impressed. I was not impressed.
That was amazing.
Oh. Fine, I guess. Looks good enough to me.
I've never seen that before.
I don't want to second guess you. You may have pulled the wrong footage. Just maybe.
Let me check my notes. Like I told you guys, I forgot what we were going to talk about. Oh, yeah. You're right, John. That was from 1983's Halloween video game. So it turns out that just 5 years after the film came out, a Wizard Video Games employee named Tim Martin took a stab at the intellectual property by programming the first game inspired by the film for the 2600. It was developed by Martin and Robert Barber and released in October of 1983. If you don't know, Wizards also did another horror film, a inspired video game, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Both games received a less than enthusiastic response from consumers, mostly because of parents' concerns at the time, which we've talked about many times. You know, the parents were just on heightened alert for anything that may be, inspiring little Johnny to do bad things, or for satanic imagery.
Satanic panic. You're backmasking my Atari games.
I have a gameplay question.
Yeah.
So for that little 1983 Halloween game, are you the people running away? Are you Michael Myers? Like, that looks kind of fun. It looks like it could be kind of fun, but what, he just pops out of doorways and you have to get away? What happens in that game?
So you are playing the babysitter, and you score points by rescuing children that are in this house and bringing them to either end of the screen. So, you scroll to the farthest left or right part, and that's when the kid is freed and you score points. But Michael, does just pop out from different windows and doors and tries to kill you. And if he does, he cuts your head off. You lose a life, which is represented by jack-o'-lanterns on the screen. And then you continue until you run out.
Silver Shamrock.
Oh my gosh.
There are weapons, a sword that appears every now and then, and you can use it to fend off Michael Myers, who'll flee for a little bit, buys you a little bit of time. But otherwise, it's pretty simple gameplay.
Now, in the new game, you get to be Michael Myers. Sometimes. It's I don't know if you're familiar, asymmetrical games are games where it's one person versus more than one people.
I was going to ask about that too. When Will said asymmetrical earlier, I didn't know how that applied. Okay.
Yeah. What's the
Dead by Daylight?
There's a dead game, Dead by Daylight, that my daughter plays furiously. That's an asymmetrical. It's like one killer versus four survivors. And so I'm guessing this is going to have a similar dynamic where someone can be Jason, and then people could be the kids. Somebody could be Laurie. Somebody could be, which is interesting because there is already Halloween characters and imagery as a skin you can get in Dead by Daylight. So, but this is going to be something more original, more specific to Michael Myers' abilities, as I saw in the trailer.
Yeah, you're right. Everything you said is right. I'll just add that you've got some cooler, I think, some more interesting abilities as Michael Myers in this game that's coming out as compared to Dead by Daylight, including a special power that accounts for Michael Myers' sort of inexplicable ability to just appear out of nowhere. You have this, I think they call it like shadow travel, where you're able to, by the click of a certain buttons on your controller, actually turn into like a mist or a shadow where you can quickly go from one side of the, one part of the map to another and then just appear in full form They are much like Michael, peering out from behind a laundry line or out of a bush.
Stand in someone's closet or right behind the laundry or wherever. Put yourself there, then become visible and wait for the reveal, which is, I thought, a genius way to take his weird ability and make it a mechanic.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It's pretty horrifying to me because when you play as Michael Myers, and as you guys, John mentioned, you can play as the townsfolk as well. When you play as Michael Myers, though, your goal is to go around and find as many NPCs, many of whom are in their homes, and murder them. And, quite honestly, I didn't like us talking about the origin stories of villains. I don't want to step into the shoes of one. I played that Dead by Daylight one game once, and I couldn't stomach being the bad guy. I always wanted to be on the, the protagonist side, and those games are terrifying. But I can't imagine being happy and joyful about playing a game where I have to go around and kill innocent people.
Maybe, but maybe too, if you're going to have a game where you can be Michael Myers, what would you have him do? Harvest zucchini? I mean, what's he going to do with that knife?
No.
He has to do Michael Myers-y stuff, yeah?
Well, I would just say you don't be Michael Myers. You just be the,
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
You wouldn't want to be Michael Myers.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I don't know that I think I might want to be the Michael Myers character purely because I don't want to be the one running from him in fear of my life.
Well,
right. You want to be the one that can't be killed.
Right.
Yeah, and they take it a step further. There's a single player game mode where you get to, according to this press release, witness the haunting narrative events surrounding the, quote, night he came home through the eyes of Michael Myers. So what happened in that first film? You're Michael walking around, killing the people he killed. I don't know. I just, I'm not one to suggest that violence, inspires players to necessarily be more violent. It does desensitize us somewhat. I don't doubt that. But yeah, that's just gross to me.
So what is it you think you will watch it on film? Is it because you're the one pulling the trigger? You're the one with your hand on the controls? Is that the difference?
Oh.
Because the exact same thing happens in the media we love, but we're passive. Is it because you're active in a game version? Why do you find that more abhorrent than watching the same kind of activity in a film?
Yeah, I have the same issue for some films that we talk about where, we deal with that are not black and white, that are gray, like Tarantino's films. The Alien Earth show, I don't know if you guys watched that, but I was disappointed by the end because I didn't know who to root for anymore. Everybody seemed equally awful. So when I watch the movies, John, I guess I find myself almost always siding with the heroes or the protagonists, the people that are being tormented by these folks, and imagining ways that I might defend myself and ultimately prevail, and rooting for them to survive. Never seeing it from the perspective of the killer, except for that film that we watched a couple of years ago where that's exactly what you were watching.
Oh, yeah. The walk in the woods. Yeah.
Walking in the leaves simulator.
90 minutes of dry leaves or whatever Marcus said. Yeah, that's. I guess that's how. It's different in that regard. Yeah, I would much rather play as one of the players, which, as we mentioned, you can. And as that, you're able to play as one of 4 players where you're able to arm yourself with weapons to actually combat Michael. And one of the things you want to do is find a phone to call the police. So currently phones, unlike in the 1980s, phones apparently, there's not a whole lot of them. But if you can find a phone, you can phone the cops, and ultimately maybe he can be caught and stopped. Is your goal from that side?
I'm gonna be outside cutting wires.
Yeah,
you're using the phone.
You could also, I thought this is kind of cool. You can even the odds somewhat. Already it's asymmetrical, but you could arm NPCs to have them help you fight Michael as well.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. One of the cool bonuses, I suppose, to this film, although it is meta, it's behind the scenes, is that the Michael Myers is being played by the original Michael Myers via motion capture. That is Nick Castle, who played the Shape in John Carpenter's original film, is back. You'll recall that Castle is not only a friend of Carpenter and helped him out in that regard, but also directed The Last Starfighter.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, Marcus writes 90 minutes of crunching leaves. Yeah, I knew it was crunching leaves.
Yes.
And 1 yoga kill.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, did you ever watch that?
Oh, I did. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
As if tying her in a knot wasn't worse. It wasn't bad enough yet. He pushed her off of a cliff, too. Pretty sure she was going to be dead. Okay, Marcus. See, now look, last time we talked, we were talking about I don't want to see prequels of movies that explain villains' origin stories and make me feel anything. But he writes, fuck that game. I did not need to know how the Shape moves that fast. Really?
No.
I thought last week you wanted to learn about, what was it? I don't remember what we were talking about.
about Con.
Oh yeah, Con, right?
Con didn't
What?
sing. Yeah, we're talking about him.
Con, boo-hoo. Something bad happened to your girlfriend or whatever.
Wow.
I got to murder everybody.
So callous. He doesn't play Michael Myers, but he'll verbally assault.
And Ted also says some things do not need to be answered or resolved. Yeah.
It's okay to have some gray.
See also
area.
Inception.
Yes.
All right. Hey, finally in 1980s news, per Bloody Disgusting.
Finally.
There's a 1980s horror. Johnny, you're relieved?
Did I say that out loud?
We heard you.
Okay. My internal monologue is broken.
Some 1980s, how did I write this? 1980s horror movie Dogs inspired the canine story of Good Boy. Seems awkward.
I like it.
I'm reminded of how W.C. Fields, who was a big fan of his old films, very funny guy. But you even if you've never seen any of the movies, you're probably familiar with his old adage about not to work with children or animals. The implication being that they're difficult to work with and they can upstage you very easily. Well, there's another similar adage in filmmaking that's invoked for different reasons that warns against the killing of those categories of characters, lest you risk losing your audience entirely.
I thought you were going to say, don't work with W.C. Fields, the other well-known.
Yes.
Yes.
The inverse.
As any dog actor will tell you, ooh,
That's right.
he's being haunted by W.C. Fields behind the grave. Yeah, no, you shouldn't harm children or animals, generally speaking, in most films, because you'll lose your audience. And knowing this rule, depending on the film, but knowing this rule, I can rely on pretty confidently. So many times when my children were younger, we're seeing movies where you see children or animals in peril. I'm like, don't worry, they're not going to do anything to that. Now, horror movies are an exception. It's rare, but oftentimes they put children and animals in peril, although most often still don't hurt them, and rarely they're killed off. Director Ben Leonberg describes this curious phenomenon to Bloody Disgusting, noting, quote, in movies you can kill off thousands of people, beloved figures, even kids, and audiences will barely flinch, but touch a single hair on a dog's head and people will lose their minds.
We just had a very specific scene where David Cornsweet had to save a squirrel.
Yes.
Because you can't let animals get hurt.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. Well, Leonberg's movie Good Boy explores this assertion with the story of a haunted house told through the eyes of a brown and white retriever. I'm so into this movie. I can't wait to see this.
I'm ready. Yeah, it's great.
When Todd, who's played by Shane Jensen, moves into an old family home, his faithful dog, Indy, we named the dog Indiana, Indy senses imminent danger. But rather than a simple harbinger to be forgotten once the ghosts emerge, this intrepid pet becomes Todd's chief defender and the story's unquestioned protagonist. So a few years ago, or maybe it was last year, we had a film Presence. If you guys haven't seen it, see it as soon as you can.
Saw it 3 times.
Oh, yeah, me too. It's wonderful. It's a horror movie that's shown from the perspective of the ghost that's haunting a house.
I saw it. Yeah. I was trying to remember
what it was.
I think I saw it. Yeah. I just needed a little reminder. Yep. I did see it. Yes.
Let me just pause for a second. I'm getting a message from my kid. Make sure they're okay.
Let's see. It says, don't eat any of my candy. I'm saving.
Oh, son of a bitch. Guys, do you have any recommendations for how to hide wrappers?
Eat it.
You're right.
Biodegradable.
No choice.
Nom, nom, nom.
No, wrap it inside one of your note papers.
Oh, you're right. Put it in homework. Then she'll never find it.
Yes.
Ooh, zing.
Put it in her science book.
Progeny zing. Nice.
So like that other film, Presence, we follow the horror, this time through a dog's eyes, played by Indy, battling a supernatural threat that we never quite understand. And although we know danger abounds, and man's best friend in this instance must save the day. This unique concept succeeds thanks to an emotive performance from Indy, who is not only a dog actor, but also belongs to the director of the film.
Oh.
And to accomplish this really interesting, unique narrative, Leonberg took notes from two of the genre's most iconic dogs. The idea for Indy's bravery was initially inspired by E-Buzz, the golden retriever who guides us through the doomed Freeling home in Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And more pivotal, I suppose, or more, pivotal, is that the right word? Let's see, more on point, more, I don't know.
Pertinent?
More pertinent.
More applicable.
Yeah, okay. There, all those words that these guys
Sure.
said is the dog that's in John Carpenter's sci-fi classic, The Thing, which I've seen that movie so many times. But if you've even seen it once, you'll recall that it opens with a timber wolf, a dog that's part timber wolf, part Alaskan Malamute, who's named Jed, bounding through the Antarctic, fleeing something as a helicopter is chasing after it with one of its passengers shooting at the dog as it dodges bullets from above until it reaches the station where our protagonists are, and it's rescued. Once rescued, the dog handler there, was played by Richard Mazer, immediately bonds with the furry refugee. But before the dog's true nature is revealed in the film, no spoilers there, I guess, we follow it as it seemingly stalks the hallways of the base.
Yeah.
While describing these unsettling scenes, Leonberg exclaims, quote, "There are shots of him just wandering the outpost, essentially casing the joint, where the synchronicity between his behavior and the camera work is so precise it blows my mind."
I appreciate that the concept for this movie, it expands upon the conceit, the trope, the whatever you want to say, that, animals are particularly sensitive and perceptive to extraterrestrial, paranormal, creepy, whatever. They're the first to go, right? When the parent's like, "What is it, boy? What is it? Something creepy?"
Yeah.
They always know, but they don't leave it alone there. They're like, let him go ahead and explore. Let him do the research. Let him do the figuring it out, and like you, first thing I want to know is, does he survive in this? Because I'm not watching it if he doesn't.
Yeah.
But apparently they have pre-approved that he's not supposed to get killed.
Right.
So they could be lying to me. They could be, but we'll see.
I'm worried. I'm very worried.
I'm worried.
about
Yeah.
this pup.
Yeah, well, I guess, look, Leonberg said himself, you can't harm one single hair on a dog. So yeah, I think we could trust him in that regard. I feel this. I feel the same way about movies with children. I can't. Ever since we've talked about this. Ever since I've had kids, it was almost immediate. I didn't realize it was happening until I turned on a movie that had like kids in danger. I was like, nope. Like, whoa, what happened to me? I watched pretty much anything, and now I have to get assurances from folks. I really wanted to watch Black Phone, which has been, many people, including my eldest, have been saying you got to see it. And when I saw a trailer for the sequel, that's because it's coming out, and they had a Black Phone pop-up haunted house at Universal. After seeing all that, I was like, I want to know what this is about. I had my kid. I was like, you have to assure me the kids will be fine. Now, by the way, a number of kids are not fine, but the difference is you don't see it, and the protagonist,
they're pre-killed.
Yes,
leading into the
they
movie.
handle it in a great way.
Oh my goodness.
Which makes you feel okay about it. Now, this makes me think, if you killed a dog off screen, would we be okay with it in a movie?
Not great. Yeah. But the locally sourced organic child corpses that are in this film, you don't see it happen,
No,
right?
right.
Already happened. They are previous victims. You know what is to come for the current. Yeah.
Lots of reason to be curious about this new film, including just the premise alone. But I really find it in particularly interesting now that we learned that some of the 80s dogs that inspired it. With regard to Jed, who starred in that movie, The Thing, after that impressive debut, he would go on to star in many more films, including becoming a stalwart of the wilderness subgenre until his death in 1995. He's known for his work in White Fang and Disney's The Journey of Natty Gann. But of course, his appearance in, I didn't know he was in those movies, but his appearance in The Thing is going to be the one he's always remembered for. Because, what's wonderful about it is how Carpenter so smartly, because the movie is entirely about paranoia, that the first thing to betray our trust is the thing that we most often trust. The impulse for the humans is to rescue the dog. They're not so worried about the humans.
It subverts your expectations and your instincts.
Humans are trying to kill a
they can't
dog.
help themselves.
Yeah, they don't say...
Because in hindsight, if you look back and watch it again, you're rooting for the guys in the helicopter with the rifle.
In the very least,
Damn it! Like, when did they get it?
In the very least, you'd think they'd be thinking, whoa, is this dog rabid? Is it got a disease? What happened? Did it kill someone at your base? No, they're like,
who's a good boy?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's
Get
a
over
good
here,
boy?
honey. We'll keep these guys away
Lick
from
my
you.
face. Who's a good boy?
Yeah.
Instant. Yep.
And so have that be the first thing that's revealed as being the alien? Holy cow. I mean, you don't know what to trust or who to trust after.
Why does this dog have 7 tentacle-like tongues licking my face? So
Come
weird.
on, honey. You're still a good boy, right? Come on, baby.
Oh, stop chewing on that.
Yeah.
That's Daddy. Stop chewing on
Daddy. All right. Hey, look, plenty of talk. Yeah, obviously Ted writes, any chance we'll talk about Tron next week? Yes, a big chance. The new movie starting on Thursday.
Saying there's a chance.
Yeah. I'm still excited about that. And we know we've got a popcorn bucket that we want to talk about. So yeah, we'll talk about that.
At least one.
At least one, yeah. It's like, right, it's a lot of offerings.
At least one popcorn bucket.
Yeah. All right, hey, that was the show. We still don't have our popcorn bucket.
We need a popcorn bucket for our show?
Yeah, well, I guess I could, maybe it'll be one like that Batman one. That was my favorite one.
Oh.
The bat pole one.
I have to remember.
The bat pole one? not the bat signal one?
Yeah, no, remember the bat pole one I showed you guys that day?
I do remember.
Yeah.
I certainly do. Yeah, it may or may not have been a gas.
Maybe we should just do a review of all the best popcorn buckets over the years.
Yes, I'd like
Special
that
edition.
very much.
Yeah.
There you go.
I couldn't think of a Tron one, John. We would have done it tonight, except I couldn't think of a dirty Tron, a way to make Tron dirty.
You just need a little more time to think of a filthy
Yes,
one.
I couldn't do it.
I respect the creative process.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, this show, Uninterrupted, was brought to you thanks in part to our early adopters, Rick Parker and Karen Flieger.
Yeah, let's go, Karen.
And thank you especially to our Secret of Our Success Level Patreon supporters, John Henderson, Brandon Greer, Marcus Taylor, and Matt Marino.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of knuckleheads too.
Up or downgrade, whichever is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
I
love
always think
those
it's funny.
knuckleheads.
I feel like, I don't know if you would agree with this, John, as a host of your own Empire Gen X Grown Up.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, you've got your fourth listener, maybe that's what it is. But look, you got to be as if, right? When you do these podcasts, kids, if you start a podcast, you do have to, like any business venture, there is an element of as if. You should try to be as if you are a professional enterprise. You should be as if you're successful, popular, all those things.
Yes, the fake it till you make it. Yeah.
You got to do that. But it always is funny to me when, and this is just my own maybe cynicism, is that shows that are like a couple weeks old and they're already refueling. They already have a term for their listeners that they made. They're non-existent listeners.
They made it up.
You know? Yeah, like we could be, maybe ours is knuckleheads now. Is it becoming? But usually it's some kind of permutation of their name. Like ours would be the 80 Nowzers or something. You know?
Our listeners could be the idiots. Yeah.
The idiots. They're the listeners. Yes.
Greetings again. Once again, Nowzers, idiots.
Nowzers. Oh, sorry, you said Nowzer. My mistake.
Yeah, knuckleheads or no, we are so grateful for these guys who generously. The candy's getting to me.
Oh, he choked on the word generously. I thought is like you so generously. Oh, that's tough to say.
Not generous enough.
You ever have so much chocolate it starts to burn your throat? That's what I just did. I think I've hit my peak. It's probably a reaction of my body to keep me alive.
Maybe slow down a
body's
little.
trying to tell you something.
Yeah, probably something.
Or maybe it was some of that dirt from your carpet.
Picking a lid down.
Or just your pipe water. Maybe. Could be that too.
Yeah, the pipe water.
What would we saying? I don't know. Something about knuckleheads who generously support the show. I got to figure out a way to edit this together later. Generously support the show week after week. We're so grateful. Hey, if you can join them, we would also be forever in your debt. Please go to patreon.com/1980s now to find out how you can do that. Also, if you don't got a buck even to chuck at us, go to our Facebook page. Go and follow us there. Go to YouTube and subscribe. Check out our website just so it's got a visitor or two this month. That would be great. More spooky stuff to chat about related to the 1980s next week when we will talk to you again next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Knucklehead out.
He made it sound like his microphone dropped, right?
This is the regular part of the show you hear in the credits where I explain what it is that I did as a joke you're supposed to understand already.